Hey guys, it's Clay, CPAP My Way, CPAPMyWay.com. Today I am here to discuss today's top travel CPAPs. We've got 4 options for you here. I think if you're considering a travel CPAP, one of these 4 is going to probably be a great fit for you. So in this video, I'm going to go over the similarities of all of them right off the rip, so the things that they all have in common that you can bank on pretty much on all options. And then I'm going to individually look at them and show you the pros and cons of each of them compared to each other. For instance, size, weight, noise level, accessories, things like that. And then in the end, I'm going to hook them all up and I'm going to bring out the old decibel meter, do it by the face, as you guys told me to last time, as well as by the machine, and get you a good idea of the sound level that each of them create. So we sell all of these. If you're looking for one, we'd really appreciate you giving us the shot. I'll have a link to all of them in the description here. We always aim to make people happy and do our best to take care of you. So also, if you like the content, please hit us with a thumbs up. We appreciate that. Comment with any experience that you have with any of these, and subscribe for more content. And let's jump right in. All right, so right off the rip, there's a few things that every single one of these have in common. What we're looking at here is the Luna Travel PAP. This is the latest one to the market. The ResMed Air Mini, been around for quite a while, very popular machine. The Transcend Micro, which is also a very new option. And the HDM Z2, which has been around for quite a while now too. All of these travel CPAPs that you're looking at now do not have a heated humidifier option. So like the water tank that goes on the side of your CPAP machine, that is not something that you can integrate with any of these currently. The old DreamStation Go did have that option, but we're not featuring that in this video because we have no idea when that one's going to come back out. So none of today's options have a heated humidifier. The other thing you should remember is that none of these are BiPAPs. All of them are auto CPAP or fixed pressure CPAP, but none of them will do bi-level settings. Another common thing on all of them is that the converters, for instance, I'm not sure which one this one's for, the Z2 I think, all of the converters will convert from 100 to 240. So it doesn't matter if you're using it in the US or if you're using it overseas. If you have the right plug adapter, obviously the ones we're selling come with the US 110 adapter. But if you're going to use it overseas, you can get the little adapter, plug it in, and the converter will convert it to the proper voltage on all of these units. So you don't have to worry about traveling abroad with any of these. The other thing to consider is they all have the same warranty. 2-year warranty across the board on the devices. The accessories may be a little different in each one. I didn't look that up. I think they're all 90 days on the accessories. But all the devices themselves, which is obviously the biggest concern, 2-year warranty. And the last thing you should consider about a travel CPAP in general is they're going to be a little louder than home CPAPs. Some of these travel CPAPs are a little louder than the others, but they are all going to be slightly noisier than a home CPAP. I hate saying that because, frankly, maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3% of people find that to be an overwhelming factor that keeps them from using it. It's going to be slightly louder, but it's not noisy. You know, it's certainly better than somebody snoring next to you. I can assure you that as a person who has a CPAP user beside me. But it is something to consider. And as we go through this at the end, obviously I'll do that little decibel meter so you can hear and see the sound level that all of them produce, and we'll use the same mask and tube setup so that you can get a good side-by-side on all of them. It's something to consider. Those are the things that I listed as the top commonalities between all of them. Now let's jump into them individually, and I'll go over some individual pros and cons. The first one I want to look at individually with you is the new Luna Travel PAP. I do have a detailed video on setup and review of this in the link, as well as to all the others. So if you want real true details of all of them, just scroll down and there'll be links to detailed videos of all of them. These is just meant to be the overview comparison. The Luna Travel PAP here is the most recent addition to the travel CPAP world. It's made by React 3B, and it is a super cool, sleek looking little device, very unique compared to the others. You'll notice you got your tubing plug-in on one side and your air intake on the other side, so it's a pretty neat deal, rubberized so it doesn't slip around on the table. It measures at 6.26 inches across here, 2.6 inches deep, and 2.8 inches tall. Weighs in at 0.88 pounds or 14 ounces. As I mentioned, the standard 2-year warranty. The things that I really like about this particular model is that it's very simple. There's nothing really other than on and off, and you do have a Bluetooth connection with a pretty user-friendly app. The other really important thing to point out is that it has a universal 22mm connection there. You can plug on any standard slim or 22mm tube, and any mask. It's gonna work perfect. The other thing very interesting about this is it's a very unique look, right? So it's got that pill look to it. It doesn't look medical at all. You've got an intake on one side, the outflow on the other side. So really simple and very easy to set up on a nightstand somewhere. In fact, you know, if you were setting it up lengthwise, you know, it would be very, very slim display on your nightstand. As far as the things I'm not super thrilled about it, there is no battery option. So there is only one CPAP battery that we carry that would fit with it, and that is the portable outlet. So it does limit your options as far as using this particular device off the grid or in a backup power supply type situation. But they do not make one of their own yet. And the other thing I'm not a fan of on any of these, and especially this one, is where the power supply hooks up. Your power supply and your tubing hook up on the same side. And for me, that's just irritating. I don't know why they do that. It must be something about the way they have to engineer these things, because you know, it's not the only one like that. But when you've got both cords going on one side, it just makes for a really weird setup on the nightstand. Overall, the people that have used it so far have really liked it. And I'm going to put it on a little later so you can hear the sound level of it compared to some of the others. All right, next on the list is the Transcend Micro. I mean, you can see this is a little bitty machine. You know, they say it's like a baseball. I don't know if I could do like a split finger fastball or whatever. It is super small and super lightweight. It is from Transcend Somnetics, and they've been making travel CPAPs since the original Transcend Mini or Micro or whatever they called it back in the day. So they've been making travel CPAPs a long time, and they're pretty darn good at it. This particular one is less than a half a pound, 7.7 ounces. And as far as dimensions go, it's 2.4 inches tall and 3.6 inches in diameter. Obviously a perfect cylinder round there. It does have a nice little rubber bottom to try to keep it from moving around. All of these travel CPAPs do have the ability sometimes to move around on the nightstand if you move too much, because they're just so darn light. But when they got the rubber little bumpers on the bottom, it definitely helps. Also a 2-year warranty, just like the rest of them. As far as the things I really like about it, you can't beat the size. This thing is super small. You're not going to notice it in your luggage. It is extremely lightweight, so if you're in a situation where you've got to have a certain amount of weight, maybe if you're going on quite a few airline trips and you're just doing carry-ons, this definitely is going to help on that, because you don't have any weight really associated with this. The other thing that's really nice is you can use any mask with it. The tubing that is designed for this has a universal 22mm end where you can connect any mask. It doesn't limit your options on that whatsoever. It's also a really, really simple maintenance. It's just got this one little tab here that pops open to a washable filter, and so doing that once a week is going to keep this thing running long term. It's got like a bit of a sealed button top, you know, so wiping it down with a damp cloth, really, really simple maintenance. The other thing I want to point out is that the power supply plugs in flush here with the tubing connection on the other side. That is one thing I do like about it. You know, if you're setting it up on the nightstand, power supply can go that way, tubing comes this way. It just makes for a more streamlined setup, in my opinion. As far as the downsides on this Micro, I have had reports that it is so lightweight that people yank it off the nightstand frequently. Obviously that would interfere if it pulled on the tube and whatever, but probably not going to damage the product, and it's not going to cause any issues, and hopefully you can adjust it to a place where that doesn't happen again. The other thing that is a very obvious issue for me is that it has a unique tube that you have to use for it. So that is not a standard tube connector there. It's got a unique little tube that connects and locks in. That tube does allow you to connect any mask, but as far as connecting a tube to this device, you do have to use the Transcend Micro tubing. And the other thing that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine on this particular unit is that you've got to do the settings on the computer here at the office. So for our customers that are out in the field that need to be able to change settings, we have to get this machine back in the office to make settings changes. If you know your settings and you're good to go, that's probably not an issue for you at all. But if you're just getting started, sometimes the doctors that we work with might recommend a change in settings. And to do that, we do have to get this device back in person to use the local software for it. Overall, it's a super cool device as well. And obviously, we're going to run it here in a few minutes so you can hear it running. But very sleek, very user-friendly, and again, the detailed video will be in the description if you want to learn the real details of this one. All right, next up on the dock here is the ResMed Air Mini. This has probably been the most popular over the years, as with pretty much everything ResMed. It's a really good unit. We've done tons and tons and tons of them, so we've got a ton of user feedback, and it's almost all positive. But as far as the things you will need to consider about this device, it is also super lightweight at 0.66 pounds or 10.6 ounces. And as far as dimensions go, it's 5.4 inches long, 3.3 inches wide, tall, whatever you want to call that, and 2 inches wide, tall on that way. It also has a 2-year warranty, which is the standard thing I've told you across the board with all of these devices. As far as the things I genuinely really like about this device, first and foremost, this thing is really durable. We have a lot of customers that use this as their one and only primary unit. If you can do without a heated humidifier and work well with an HME, which is what's required for all of these, this particular unit is extremely durable. As I understand it, it has the same motor as the new AirSense 11 home unit. So you could expect about the same durability, in my opinion, and we have seen that over the years. Very few long-term issues with this device. The other thing that we've noted about it, it is, as far as travel CPAPs go, pretty darn quiet. You'll see that when we plug it in and try it on a little bit later on here. But we've really, if somebody's really looking for the quietest model, we typically try to point them in this direction as of today. So it does have a nice quiet operation as far as travel CPAPs go. The other thing about it is it's a ResMed algorithm. So if you're on auto CPAP, it is a really comfortable and effective algorithm. It adjusts in a comfortable way to get the job done, but to also keep you from feeling an overwhelming amount of pressure. The other thing is it's been around for a while. There's great accessories available for it. I didn't mention that on the Transcend Micro, but it's got good accessories too. You'll see those in the detailed videos that we have, but the ResMed has off-brand accessories, on-brand accessories, and there's a multitude of them. So it's really versatile as far as being able to, from mounting systems to batteries to adapters, things like that. It's very wide-ranging for this particular model. So you're going to be able to find some niche way of using it for almost any necessity that you're going to have for your travel. Even though it's a great unit, there are some downsides that I will point out to you. The first one being, and I'm going to mention it first because I just went round and round with a wonderful little lady the other day. She's a little older. She had some dexterity issues. She could not get this filter housing off. And quite frankly, I mean, maybe ResMed can give me an idea, but it can be really tricky, especially when these devices are brand new, to get that filter housing off of there. But you will have to get it off because there is a disposable filter inside there. I'm not going to get after it here on this on the video. But the other thing, as I mentioned with the that Luna Travel PAP, the power supply and the tube plug in the same place right there. I mean, they are like really side by side. So you got two things coming off of one side. I don't really like that. It does have a bit of a rubberized bottom to it, so it won't slip off. But when you got two things pulling on one side, sometimes it gets a little wonky. And I really just prefer when the power cord comes in one side and the tube comes off the other side on these, because it's just, you know, so small and it's limited space on your nightstand. The other thing you keep in mind with this is it's designed with a specific tube connection as well. So it is designed by ResMed to work with ResMed AirMini tubing and the AirMini appropriate masks that will only attach to that tubing. There are some limitations on masks and the tube. It does have an off-brand adapter, or I shouldn't say it does have. There is an off-brand adapter that is not made by ResMed. I don't know that ResMed recommends it, but you can plug it in there and connect on any 22 millimeter tubing, and in turn any mask. So that issue has been kind of resolved, but it's not a ResMed product, so you kind of have to weigh out whether or not that's worth it. But overall, this is the most popular travel CPAP we sell. It does a great job, and we really like it a lot. All right, the final one here is the Z2 by HDM Z2. This has also been another really popular machine over the years. It is extremely lightweight. It's a half a pound, only 7.9 ounces. The dimensions of the device are 6.3 inches long, I guess you'd say there, 3.5 inches across, and 2 inches thick. So very, very slim and lightweight, will fit into your luggage with ease. Also 2-year warranty on this particular device. As far as the pros that I would say right off the rip, it is very lightweight and easy to pack up. It's not going to take up any space, and it's definitely not going to use up any of your luggage weight requirements. The one thing that makes it pretty universal, that's a big pro here, is that it has a display screen. It is the one and only device that does that. A lot of people like to look over and see what the pressure's at. With this device, you can do that. And if that's a sticking point for you, this really is the only option currently available. The other thing about it is that it comes with a universal connector. So when you put the adapter in here that comes with the device, you can connect any 22mm tube and in turn any mask that you want to use. Another nice feature about it is that it has really good accessory options. So the power shell that you can get with it is like fully integrated. It slips in there, which makes it kind of like one unit. And it has removable batteries, which is it's a pretty cool setup. It also has everything you could ask for as far as accessories, muffler, tube connection, obviously the backup battery. So it's well versed on that. So if you need something in particular for your travel needs, chances are you're going to be able to find it with the Z2 here. As far as cons on this, it's a little louder than some of the others. You'll be able to see for yourself here and determine what you think when I put it on here in a few minutes. The other thing to keep in mind is that it requires the adapter to run. There's like a little backflow thing there. I'm sure there's something more intelligent to say than backflow, but that's what I'm going to call it. Without the adapter in there and that little prong going in to the side there, it's not going to run. So that little adapter is sometimes easy to lose. If you lose it, this thing's not going to function without it. There's no other option. You got to get a new adapter. The other thing I would say about this, and this is purely out of experience, I wouldn't recommend this for an everyday user. It's super light travel, super lightweight, small, and travel friendly, but I'd really only recommend using it for travel purposes. It's not one that I would recommend for everyday use. But overall, it's one that we've done a ton of, and it's been a great unit. Especially, I've got a couple people that do use it as an everyday use, and they've had some warranty issues, and under warranty it was repaired. But overall, it's really been a nice unit, and has worked well for a lot of people that are using it for travel. All right, so to start off with, we're going to try out the ResMed Air Mini here. The Air Mini's power cord is got a converter brick on the end where you actually plug it in. That's the size and that's the cord. So you're looking at another 50% bigger than the machine itself for the cord. I've got it set at a setting of 10. So when we put it on here, you'll know that all of them are set at a setting of 10 when we actually run it, so you can hear it. And I got my little decibel meter here to check it out. I'm going to hook it up with the little universal adapter, the Loft brand thing, to a standard tube so that we can have the same tubing for all of the different devices as I go through them. As far as price point on this one, it's typically the most expensive. ResMed makes quality, and they're going to require a decent payment for that. It's probably still the #1 machine we sell, despite the fact that it's slightly higher. I wouldn't say dramatically higher, but as far as price points go, it is going to be a bit higher than the others. So what I'm going to do is hook it up. It is already set at a setting of 10. I'm going to try it all of them on with this N20. Just happened to be the first mask I could grab out of there. And we'll let you hear them, and I will show you on the decibel at the machine and at the mask what it's running at. All right, so not too loud. Next up will be the Z2. The Z2 power supply is this little converter brick right here. It's midway through the cord, so you just got your standard AC power supply there. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in. I am gonna hook it up, obviously, with the same 15mm cord, but it comes with this little muffler, inline muffler that connects to the universal connector here. And I'm going to include that because I think it definitely makes a difference on the noise level with the little muffler attached, and it comes with the device. So we should incorporate that to get an accurate view of what you'll be experiencing. All right, hook her up. Tube just hooks right on the muffler just like that, and as I've stated with the others, the cord plugs in right beside the tubing. There must be something to that, but it's not my favorite thing. All right, so again, I don't think that's crazy loud. It definitely wouldn't be something that would bother me. I also wanted to point out that this is the lower end of the pricing tier. So this particular device, as far as the 4 that we're showing you here, is probably going to be the lowest cost out of all of the devices. Still same 2-year warranty and all the features, just at the lower price. All right, next up here is the Luna Travel PAP. This is the device beside the cord. Obviously the converter is built into the end of this one. And this is the device, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's actually pretty small in the cord and the device. The plug goes in, again, on the same side the tube outlet comes out of. Hopefully there'll be like an engineer comment on this as to why that is. Price point on this one's kind of mid-level, so it's typically a little cheaper than the, or maybe a little more than the Z2. It'll be the same for the Transcend Micro, honestly. And if you wonder why I'm not giving out actual pricing, it always changes. You know, like there's specials and sometimes prices go up, as we've seen in the past few years. So I'm just kind of giving you tier levels. You can always click on the links below and get accurate pricing. We're still going to use that exact same tube, and it's going to plug onto the end just like that. And we'll throw on our N20 here. So obviously this one is, to me, not onerously loud as well. It would not bother me sleeping whatsoever, being the user or the person beside it. I'm not sure what it all registered as on the decibel meter there. I'll check it out in the video with you. But it operates very seamlessly and not a lot of noise at all. So let's check out the Micro. All right, last one up, Transcend Micro. This is the smallest one. This is the power converter brick beside it. So you get an idea of what you'll be taking along with you. This one is a mid-level pricing, same as the Luna Travel PAP, give or take. And I've got it set at a 10, which I had to do on the computer here. Cord plugs in kind of at the bottom right there, and it sits flush, which is kind of cool. And what do you know, the tube comes off the other side. However, I will not be able to use the standard tube that I've been using on the others. Instead, I have to use its specific tubing, which has this very specific little adapter. It also comes with this little muffler, so I'm going to use that as well, which also has that exact same plug in it. Just hooks in there and then twists to lock into place. Don't twist it too hard or you might snap something. Once you feel it kind of clip in there, it's good to go. And then the end of the tube is a 22 millimeter, so I'll be able to use the same mask, and the diameter of this tube is exactly the same as the standard 15 millimeter, so should be a pretty solid representation of an exact setup. All right, so again, I don't think that's loud at all. I have traveled with my dad, sleeping in the same bed with him on a recent fishing trip, and he used this the whole time we were gone. Did not bother me at all as the bed partner, and nothing bothers him in his sleep, including his snoring. So I don't know that he would have been a good indicator of anybody's thoughts on the noise level of the machine, but I have side by side slept with this one and my dad, and it didn't bother me at all. In fact, it was a heck of a lot better than listening to him snore. I hope you found all this information handy. If you did, please hit me with a thumbs up. Remember, we sell all these, so I would really appreciate the shot, and we always price match. So if you find it cheaper somewhere, we typically can match the price. So we'd love to be the people that help you out start to finish with these if it's something that you need. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.